So now I am. Oh, oh, I think something's happening.
Something.
Something's happening. What's up? I think we're. Oh, is it happening?
I don't know.
I
Is it?
think we're doing it. Yeah, I think we're doing it. I
Are we
think we
live,
are. I think we are a go, man. I think we're a go.
dude?
What?
We're live.
I,
Welcome, world.
we're doing it. We're on here.
Yeah,
making it
dude.
obvious, making it obvious that this is our first rodeo here with the JK talks, but it's all
That's
good.
right. We got to
It's all
make it
good.
obvious. We got
This
to make
is
it exciting. We got to make it who we are.
I'm not that exciting. Not that exciting. My mustache is the most exciting thing about me right now, and I don't know how long I'm gonna keep it.
That's exciting, dude.
So exciting. Your beard's getting long. You have an impressive beard, dude.
It's all natural. That's all I can say.
Natural.
Yeah, I like how I guess the white likes how it's literally like half dark and then half white. It's getting more defined
Yeah,
with the
you basically got like a Taoism thing going on your face.
so yeah, there you go.
The yin and the yang.
It's like that tug of war in the spirit, right? The flesh and the spirit, warring it out.
Yeah, yeah. Totes my goats. But hey, so we should jump into some pretty lighthearted topics today. I was thinking politics, religion, and AI.
Yeah.
I think we should
Now,
make that a thing. Actually,
I
that is
think,
already a thing, isn't it? It's
yeah,
on
that
our
sounds
banner.
great.
Politics,
I
religion.
think,
We
yeah,
promised the viewers politics, religion, and AI. Only lighthearted stuff here, okay? We only talk about lighthearted things.
that's right. And cool. So it took us a
Super
while
cool.
to get this up and running, but hey, thank the Lord, we're here.
Huzzah! Let's do it.
Bah! It's almost like my background, right? Subconsciously, it just,
Yeah. And of course, I don't have proper lighting. So when I tried to do a fancy background like Joe over here, it was like it looked terrible. It looked pretty terrible. So we're going with a blurred green screen today
all
cuz
right.
cuz we're rocking it.
You know what? People can relate to that.
Yeah. Yeah, people can relate to green.
Yeah.
I can relate to green. Not my favorite color, but it is what it is. I'm pretty sure I had
Well,
a blue screen at one point. I think you can use blue screens as well. Anyways, not the point.
yeah,
The
you
first
can.
point, politics. What are we doing for politics? We're doing what are we talking about?
Presidential
Election.
candidates.
The
Yep.
election so that we can have potentially maybe an alive president next time. One who's somewhat cognizant of some kind.
Well, that's possible.
Maybe.
It
I mean, he could win.
that is possible with Neuralink, but we'll get into that later.
Can you imagine Joe Biden using Neuralink? Oh
Hello,
man.
it's
And he's
me.
like running the country and he's on Neuralink. I mean, he'd never do it because he hates Elon Musk, but
Hello,
that
folks.
would be insane. That'd be insane.
Hello,
Oh,
folks.
what? Oh,
Hello, folks. It's me.
you're Joe Biden. I thought you were trying to talk to the audience. I was like, wait, we do have people? Are there people here? Because
Yeah,
I have
yeah,
the
you and me,
Zoom.
dude.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So I have it maximized, right? So like right now, it's like it's sharing what I'm seeing, which is us. You know what? I can get rid of. Hold on, get rid of that.
Beautiful.
I think that looks better. Yeah, that looks better. Now it's just me and you side by side.
That's cool.
It's like we're in
No,
the
that's
same room.
beautiful.
We're
People,
basically
people
in the
like
same room.
that. People like your stash. People like my beard. It's a good combo.
Totes. Yeah.
People,
Hopefully it doesn't catch because I don't stick with facial styles that often. I'm always doing something different. So.
normally I do too, but I don't. I was gonna actually shave today. You know that? I was
Oh well,
literally
I'm
gonna
glad you
shave.
didn't because it works for you, man. No homo.
Hmm.
Okay. So
Right.
so politics, election. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. As speaking of, if we have people on here, I was gonna say congratulations,
Yeah.
congratulations. You didn't win
Congratulations.
anything. You didn't win a single, but congratulations anyways because you're an amazing person. Probably, maybe you're not. I don't know. Um,
Oh, you're all amazing,
but
and you're all.
Joe, if you have you can actually go see because I could pull it up But then it would look weird because I'm sharing like the whole screen right now. So you
Yeah,
could
I'm trying
probably
to
pull it
find
up,
it.
and that way you could. Oh, I forgot to fix my name. I'm on here as Mr. Myers. That's too formal.
I
Get
know,
that
dude.
out of
Like,
here.
what the heck,
What am I
Mr.
doing? What am
Myers?
I doing with my life? Where is it? Rename. Kile. Kile. That's what my Spanish friends call me. Okay.
While you're doing that, I'm gonna play the JK Talk Show Halloween intro. Okay, while you
Oh
work on that.
gosh.
Ready?
All right. Get
Here we
ready to
go.
cringe.
Boom.
It's actually not that bad.
It's cool, man.
It's okay. It's kind of distant. It's all right though. It's all right. It's kind of hard to hear all of it, but it like from what I can hear, it's all right. I don't know.
All right.
Anybody watching this, let us know
It's
what you
groovy,
think.
dude. It's groovy.
Yeah, you can buy
Got
his
the
album on
Halloween
SoundCloud.
flair.
SoundCloud.com/Joey the Beast. No, I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
there we go.
That's probably actually a real SoundCloud, so don't go
Dude, that's perfect.
there.
Because I am a beast
Yeah, you are.
in the worst way, though. Exactly.
We are
I'm
we
a
are beasts
beast,
at getting off topic. All right, so
dude.
so the election, assuming that Jesus doesn't come back before then, um,
I hope he does, man.
yeah, I mean he said soon, so I've been practicing my jump squats, just in case the pre-mills are right, Um, so
They're not. But anyway.
well, so with the election, we have what I kind of thought I would like narrow it down to like the top three in both, and that way we'll like it's like all right, well, we'll talk about both. We'll talk about the Democrats and the Republicans. So for Democrats, Joe Blow for show. I don't know. He's obviously maybe gonna be alive to run for re-election. He breaks a new record every day for the oldest president. Did you know that? That guy breaks records every day. That's how impressive he is, right? He's breaking records every day.
He
Every
is
day he
impressive.
gets older, he breaks a new record for the oldest president ever. Uh,
Very impressive.
sorry, what?
He's very impressive.
Yeah, he's an impressive person for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, very awe-inspiring. My jaw drops every time I hear things that he's done in the news. Um,
In dumbfoundment.
what? Never.
But
Who would?
hey,
Um,
we're used to it.
so him, and then Robert Kennedy Jr.
Well, yeah, but are they really gonna let him?
I mean,
Probably not.
are they gonna let Joe do anything other than read off of a teleprompter and eat ice cream and fall off of bicycles? I don't know.
No, of course not. But they control that. That's the point. They don't control JFK Jr. or RFK Jr. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So yeah,
He's a
okay.
wild card.
So
Yeah,
RFK
he's
Jr. is up
definitely
there.
he's definitely the long shot. But when I looked up like who's going, it's like just three people. So because
Yeah,
I think the Democrats are like yeah, the other two are just kind of there in name only.
yeah. So you got Biden, you got let's say Robert Kennedy Jr.
Yeah.
and you got Gavin Newsom, California.
What?
And,
Oh,
yeah,
is that a
Gavin.
thing?
Yeah, that's a thing. And
Okay.
also, people speculate the Michelle Obama.
Oh, okay. When I looked it up, it was Joe Blow and JFKJ and Marianne. Was it Wilkerson? I forgot her last name. I've never heard of her before.
Yeah.
Apparently, she's some sort of like big time guru. So, if you're a Marianne believer, you can let us know how terrible we are to not know who
Yeah,
that
put
is.
hearts in there if you love Marianne, okay?
Yeah, yeah, throw some hearts our
We'll
way.
see heart emojis.
Yeah, yeah. But anyways, so she's running. Which I mean, so she's a woman, assuming that that's her gender. So she'll be the first woman besides Joe Biden to run for president, and win. Well, kind of win. So that's running that's going for her, and she could always identify as like not white or something, I guess,
Well,
and get that going for her as
that's
well.
why the Michelle Obama ticket card is so huge
Right.
because
Yes.
you know because she's female
Although,
and she could be a man. You see,
right,
she could be
yeah,
a
like female,
people say that.
trans,
I don't know.
African American,
Yeah, exactly. She all the check
got all
marks,
the
man.
things. Yeah.
Got all of it. Boom,
She
boom,
just needs
boom,
to
boom.
have some sort of disability or something, and then I think that's pretty much all the check boxes you need to check right now.
Well, I think the fact that again she's African American, or as I say, black, and the fact that she could be again, that's what people say, not us, right, Kyle? We
Yeah.
don't believe that.
Well, what she needs to do is she needs to like chop off her legs and sit in a wheelchair, right? That's what she needs to do.
I mean,
That'll help her chances.
that would be 100% then.
She'll still be more mobile than Joe.
That's true. Unless Neuralink.
So unless Neuralink, yeah. And then Elon Musk will be the president.
Yeah, which is eventually, I guess, the plan of the world, though, of the world.
Maybe. I don't know. Would you vote for him? I'd think about it. I think
I don't
about
know.
it. I think about it.
I mean, it
I like
depends
this
who
guy.
he's running against, right? You got to. I mean, it depends who's going against him.
Yeah. Jesus. No, he's gonna slash and he's gonna do some slashing at the Valley of Megiddo. Um, but
Big.
yeah. So I mean, there's not really a good second place. Not really, right? I mean, maybe Gavin. I don't know.
Oh, you
But
know what?
he's
You forgot. You know what we forgot,
yeah.
dude. The VP, Kamala Harrison.
Kamala. Yeah, there's no
Yeah,
way. There's no way.
it's Democrats, dude. Of course, there's a way.
And the dead shall rise and vote for Joe Biden.
Yeah, yes.
So
Again,
yeah, I mean, I guess, but I mean, so people are already skeptical about Joe because of his approval ratings. I mean, like all across the board, people are like, I don't know about this guy. So just logistically, it's like it's already kind of weird. But I was reading up on it a little bit, and Democrats are basically like, well, yeah, he's old, and yeah, people don't like him, but who's gonna who else is it gonna be? Who else is gonna have a chance against Trump? Because Trump is likely gonna be the Republican candidate, right? So if we're preparing for another battle against Trump, it's got to be Joe, because you know he got it. So
I mean, yeah, but again, the one person would really be Obama, Michelle. You know,
hmm
to try to galvanize their constituents and to try to really hammer down a certain population and such.
hmm
That would be it though. The other ones would be pointless. I mean, Newsom, who the heck
yeah.
wants that guy? You see what he did to
And she
California?
she does stuff too, right? She like wrote a book, I think.
She wrote a
I
book.
think she wrote a
She's,
book.
I mean, again, the first lady. I mean, she's got all the credentials.
Yeah, yeah, I guess so. I guess she could be a good second place, because I think they're definitely banking on Joe to go again, and he wants to go again. Um, or at least that's what he told us on the teleprompter that he wants to do. But
Hmm.
yeah, I guess Michelle could go, or Gavin.
Yeah.
I mean,
Hmm.
he like did bad stuff, but doesn't everybody do bad stuff? And then we're like, whatever, it's nothing.
Yeah, because hey, if he carries the flag of the party, that's what they vote for, right? Hey, he's got a D behind in
Right,
front of his
yeah.
name.
So I mean, so you're gonna have people that are gonna vote blue no matter who it is, and then you're gonna have people
Exactly.
who are gonna vote
No
red no
matter
matter
how
who it is.
terrible it gets. Yeah, no
So
matter
so really, that's and of course presidential candidates know that, right? So they're gonna be like, all right, so I need to be red for my red people or be blue for my blue people, but then I also need to try to like say enough right things or left things so that
how right.
so that so that enough people from the other side or people that are in the middle, um, so that I have the majority or enough of the vote to get it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So speaking of Trump, Republican people, there's more Republican candidates than I think I have fingers on my hands.
Yeah, there's
including
quite a few.
including thumbs, because thumbs are fingers too. Dang it. Um, so
Or did it?
yeah, I don't think it's even like worth it bringing up all of them. When I looked at one website, well, I mean, I saw the Republican debate. It was craziness. And we've actually
Yeah,
talked about this before, off the fish, but it was it was interesting. Yeah, it was interesting. If you haven't seen
yeah,
it, it's probably not worth your time, because unless you really like watching people look like idiots on camera for 2 hours straight, just everybody that got into the debate and was like bickering back and forth, they just made themselves look like idiots. So,
yeah.
that's
Those big debates with more than two people, it's so pointless. You got one person saying this, another one
yeah,
cutting someone off, and it's just like a big like hey, let's get in the, it's like WrestleMania, it's like
yeah, and they
what do they
didn't
call the
control
Royal,
it.
it's
They
like a
needed to
Royal
control their
Rumble. Yeah,
mics or
that's what it
something.
is. It's like a Royal Rumble, dude. Everybody just going at it, it's ridiculous. Yeah. Look, to me, the top candidates are obviously Trump. Come on. And then now with all the stuff they're doing to him, he's even stronger than ever. Then you got, DeSantis, then you got Vivek for sure.
Yeah,
And let's say Nikki Haley.
Schwarminansky.
Yeah. I mean, those four really are the tops. But I would definitely, obviously, Trump.
Yeah, and then the website I looked at right before this, they were saying Chris Christie, but
Yeah.
he's kind of like the reverse JFKJ. He seems very liberal for a right wing guy, doesn't he?
Yeah. He ain't going anywhere.
So
He's just
him
there
and
to harass Trump.
JFKJ are gonna lose together.
Yeah.
I think they just, I think they would have a better chance at winning if they just traded places. They're like, all right, tag out. Like, all right, Chris Christie's now gonna be a Democratic, and then JFKJ is gonna go Republican, because that's kind of
That'd be
they're
interesting. Yeah.
more on that side, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree with you totally. And I just think with RFK Jr., I think because he's more of an outsider, kind of like Trump is, that the Democrat Party, they're just not going to allow him to actually be the candidate. It's just not going to happen. It's just not. Even though
Mm.
people may love him, doesn't matter. They're going to do
Outsider, like
everything.
he's just got like, you know, some crazy ideas about stuff. You mean like that?
Yeah, just again, the anti, COVID thing shots,
Yeah, yeah.
trying to expose that, the wanting to do away with
Oh,
the,
okay, I see what you mean. Because
yeah,
I was thinking initially like politician versus not politician. I mean, Trump is now a politician because he's served a term in office, but before that he wasn't. So he has he's still kind of like the non-politician candidate, which is why I think it's dumb that Vivek is standing so strongly on that position. He's screaming from the rooftops, Trump 2.0, Trump 2.0, vote for me, I'm not white. Like,
I mean, the thing is, he's like Trump, but more polished and younger, you
and
know. But
just a little crazy.
the thing is,
He
again,
gets he gets
because
crazy
Trump,
eyes.
well, and because Trump already had his first term,
Yeah.
he should finish it out. I'm just saying, like,
Yeah, Vivek's thing is like, all right, Trump 2.0, but also like the 2.0 is his like second thing. So like, hey, I'm Trump, basically. Like, oh, vote for me because I'm not a politician. Oh, so exactly what Trump said. Okay, got it. And then the second thing is the 2.0. It's the I'm younger, right? Because Trump is old as well. Like he's only what 2 years behind Biden, because
yeah, something like that.
Biden's 80, he's 78.
Yep,
So if Trump wins, then in 2 years he would break Joe Biden's record, right? Because once he turns 81 or whatever, he's gonna break the record and be the oldest one again. So
yep.
he's like right behind Joe Biden. I mean, he's way more cognizant, obviously, but he's still, that is kind of still a negative that he's old, right? Because that's one of the reasons why it's so negative for Joe Biden is just like, hey, age. Um, but then of course, on top of that, like his mental health is rapidly declining. Uh,
There's no proof of that.
oh, right, right. That's misinformation. Sorry. Yeah, you
We
didn't hear
know
that. Don't
we
don't
we
ban us,
love
YouTube.
we love him.
Yep.
Fantastic.
So good.
And yeah,
Big Brother. Vote for Big Brother.
his thoughts are after our thoughts, right? So
It's about as far as I want to go on that. So yeah, so I mean Trump, Vivek. I don't think Vivek has really a lot of a chance. I mean, I don't think he has that much of a chance. He's he's not really bringing anything that somebody else can't bring. Like if he's bringing Trump, it's like okay, but we already have a Trump. He's bringing the youth. Well, it's like yeah, but there's other candidates that are young as well. Um,
yeah, I
so
mean it's Trump's to lose. Period. He's the Trump's the candidate. They
yeah,
know it.
and
Everybody
and
knows it.
and I think so Trump is like definitely the standout. I think Vivek is kind of a second stringer if you want to lump a bunch of different people into a second string category versus like the long shots. But DeSantis though, I mean, I don't know. He's like a calm, like even more against abortion than Trump, really. Kind of guy.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Like ever since DeSantis started running and everything, and then remember at the beginning he started kind of getting into it with Trump. They were having like a tussle, and then people were saying, "Oh, look, there's infighting within the Republican Party and stuff." It's like DeSantis's campaign. I mean, everyone's dogging him. You know, everyone, like the news, everybody's been dogging his campaign as if it's like
Which I
totally
don't really
terrible.
understand because if the Democrats want to play the numbers, what you do is you make Fox News say good things about DeSantis and make people kind of like think, oh, I wonder if maybe DeSantis will be better than Trump, and try to split the Republican Party even more, and then that way when it comes time for election, people are so gung ho for either DeSantis or Trump that they aren't willing to just throw their vote towards the candidate who wins if they've been so supportive of the person who didn't win the candidacy. I think that strategy makes more sense for Democrats, but you know, what do I know? I just have a
Yeah, no,
bachelor's.
I hear you. It would make sense because then you would have infighting within the party, and then you got two camps. And but the thing is, it's mainly the yeah, it could be the Democrats, but also Republicans, more of the not the mainstream, the off mainstream.
Yeah,
The real news. They're the ones that are really pro Trump. You know, like
yeah,
really
yeah.
saying, hey, and they're getting that from a lot of different sources and saying, yeah, I mean, I think DeSantis even changed his campaign manager and stuff not too long ago. So
Hmm.
he's made changes.
Okay.
But yeah, ultimately, like I said, it's Trump's to lose because people are just um, they're backing him more than ever since the indictments. That was
Yeah,
a that was a bad play on the media and the left's part. And just saying, and you and me, we're kind of neutral. We're just telling it like it is. You know,
yeah.
so
I mean, more right leaning. I try to stay pretty neutral, but you know, I'm a Christian, so I'm just gonna go with some truth. I see some. There's some good ideals. Like if you look at the general fundamentals of like the good things that both sides believe in, like I can kind of get behind some stuff on both sides there when we're talking about the fundamentals behind everything, right? But then when you start talking about individuals and then what they believe in, and everybody on the left is going to be pro-abortion, and then even people on the right, they're going to be like, oh well, this many weeks, and then we'll cut it there, and I don't know. It's just you know, at the end of the day, when's Jesus coming back? Soon, please, please. That was
no,
what I was thinking.
I agree, and that's the thing. I think I mentioned it to you before, Kyle. The fact that to me, true and real conservatism, you can't have conservatism without Christ. Period. Christ is the actual foundation of conservatism. I mean, true conservatism. Wouldn't you agree? Like literally. So, because the thing is, you have a bunch of people who aren't Christians that are pro-Republican, right? They're pro-Trump. They're, like you said, they're anti-abortion, but then they'll say, well, up to so many weeks,
Yeah,
and it's okay. And mainly it's because folks in the conservative party are thinking in the flesh. They're not really thinking,
Yeah, but
with
also logistically,
Christ.
if you hold a really strong stance, like let's say you want to do an abolitionist stance on abortion, you're not going to win. Because if you tell everybody you're going to be abolitionist about abortion, then the people on the right, especially like true believers and stuff who really, don't want to see babies killed and stuff, they're going to be like, "Hey, that's great. Let's go for it." But then there's going to be, so many people, and even not every person who calls themselves a Christian is going to be pro-life, abolitionist, all that kind of stuff, right? Um, so they're just not gonna win when they hold a stance that's strong. Then you're not appeasing enough of the people on the left to win the presidency. So nobody could do it. You can't do it with the nation as split. And I mean there's some pros and cons. Like it's good in some ways. I don't know. Like God is sovereign in everything, so like he's not making any mistakes about you know allowing uh everything to happen the way it's happening. Like he's pulling the strings, in the background and stuff. Um, but yeah. So, anyways, politics check.
But
What's
yeah,
next?
just kind of go off of that. The good part is they did overturn Roe v. Wade, putting it back on the states. You know, so each state does have that sovereignty to vote
Yeah,
for it or against it. So that's that's better than nationalizing it. So that's a good thing.
yeah, yeah.
And then as far as like losing people to votes and such, I mean, the good part is with 4D technology and people being able to really see and understand, even if they want to fake it, they know it's a human. They know they know a fetus means baby, in Latin. So they understand it's a human being more than ever. So there are a lot more people in society, whether they're in the center or not, that know, and I think they're really coming around to being pro life. So praise God for that. And you're right, he's sovereign, and he will
Amen.
get the glory either way. Because why?
Preach.
He created some vessels out of clay for dishonor and some out of silver and gold for honor,
Romans 9, spoken like a true Calvinist.
and he gets all the glory. Amen.
So speaking of religion, that's our next lighthearted topic for today. So politics, checkbox, boom, done. Religion,
That was successful, dude.
religion. What's next? All right, so religion. What do we got? What we're gonna? Oh, spiritual discipline. All right, so
Ah,
this is actually kind of a teaching portion. So you are definitely the front runner man in politics. I submit to you in politics, sir. I think we both hold our ground with spiritual topics. And
amen.
then so basically you're just better than me is what I'm trying to say here. Like
I
we
know I'm
both
not.
have a lot to say about spiritual topics. And then when it comes to AI, I don't know. I geek out over this stuff, but you do too. So basically, you're just better than me. That's why your name comes first, right? J and then
No, I'm
K.
not. I'm just older than you. That's
Oh, I couldn't tell by the beard. All right, so Matthew, you should comment below and tell Joe that his beard looks amazing. You should do that.
Oh,
All
thank
right,
you. Thank the Lord.
yeah, we like affirmation over here. I know I do. That's one of my top love languages.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Look, your stash right now, you look like a star from the 70s.
From the 70s. That's like a
Yeah,
compliment
dude.
assault.
But that 70s look has been projected to now, you see?
That's like
And
that's like when you're like, "Oh, hey, you've lost some weight." It's like, "Oh, thanks. Was I fat?"
yeah, compliment.
Compli sold. All right, so Matthew 18. Starting in verse 1. All right, so what version should I read from? I like NIV and King James. All right, so anybody watching this that's King James
Let's
only,
go.
I love you.
Yeah.
I love you. Authorized version. I get it. It is the authorized version, but I like me some NIV. I have most of my verses memorized in NIV, and I
I
think
mean, Kyle,
yours is NASB, right?
I like NASB ESV, and I've been actually getting into the NKJV. So I would say that would be a good
Oh,
compromise between
oh,
NIV and KJV is NKJV.
NKJV.
Yeah.
All right, show me NKJV. Ding. All right, so NKJV it is. Matthew 18. So I'm not gonna necessarily read the whole thing
Okay.
unless you shout at me in the chat loud enough for me to hear because I don't have the chat pulled up. And then I can read the whole thing. But the part, let's see, that we want to try to get here. So actually, you know what? Let's do this. So Matthew 18 started off with who's the greatest? Who's the greatest? And he's like, kids. Kids are the greatest. Spoiler if you haven't read that one. This book has been out for a while, by the way, so I feel like I don't have to shout out your spoilers, but I kind of like to anyways, just because it's funny.
Okay.
Jesus warns of offenses. Okay, so that's the part where they're talking about if your hand or foot causes you to sin, cut it off, cast it from you. This is hyperbole a little bit here. Parable of the lost sheep. A lot of people have heard about that one. Dealing with a sinning brother is the title of this in NKJV. It's called Dealing with a Sinning Brother. I like that actually. That's
Nice.
pretty on the nose because
That is
this
exactly what you were talking
passage this
about.
passage is called church discipline. That's how it was introduced to me is church discipline. So here it goes. Starting in verse 15, Matthew chapter 18, verse 15. Moreover, if your brother sins against you, go and tell him his fault between you and him alone. Step 1. If he hears you, you have gained your brother. But if he will not hear, take with you one or two more, that, quote, by the mouth of two or three witnesses every word may be established, end quote. Step 2. And if he refuses to hear them, tell it to the church. Step 3. But if he refuses even to hear the church, let him be to you like a heathen and a tax collector.
Oh, wow.
Boom. So yeah, and then so that's the end of that paragraph. Next paragraph, so this is starting in 18, so Matthew 18:18. Assuredly I say to you, whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven, whatever you loose on earth will be loosed in heaven. Again I say to you that if two of you agree on earth concerning anything that they ask, it will be done for them by my Father in heaven. For where two or three are gathered together in my name, I am there in the midst of them.
Hmm.
This is the word of the Lord.
Amen.
So it's funny because I forgot that misquoted verse is at the end of that. For where two or three are gathered in my name, I am there in the midst of them. Most people, like Christians, hopefully younger Christians, are the only ones committing this. It's not a sin. So when I say committing, I'm not talking about sin here, so calm down. But where two or three are gathered in my name, I am there in the midst of them. Huh. That's not talking about prayer. I mean, yeah, it could be true about prayer, but that's not the context, right? And but before we even started, we were chatting a little bit about this, and you were talking about getting the context even of the church discipline thing. But church discipline, the passage here on church discipline is the context of where two or three are gathered in my name, I am there with them. Which I was looking at it, but I think I was saying that in NIV. I have
Sweet.
most everything memorized in NIV.
That's cool. Yeah.
So, it's a three-step process. I've actually done this process with somebody before.
Hmm.
We kind of didn't really get to step 3 because they were starting to kind of disconnect from the church anyways.
Hmm.
So we didn't really get to step 3, which was kind of telling of this person. But I tried to go through the process, and I was like, hey, like this thing you're doing, it's not cool. And they were like, yeah, but I want to. Basically, was their answer.
So then,
Like,
did you treat him? Did you
and
go? Did you do your part though to treat him like a heathen and a tax collector?
so then what I did was I said, okay, so let's bring a couple other people there, and we brought some other people,
Hmm.
and they basically said the same thing as me. One of the people that was like more their friend, I guess you could say, was rooting for them more and was like, oh no, they're okay, but they
Hmm.
they kind of weren't even like part of the church, so This was my
Oh,
first attempt at applying this passage. Okay, so give me some
good
grace
stuff.
here. But so I attempted to bring a couple people. One of the people was kind of more in their corner. I think there were like one or two people that were kind of more in my corner, I guess. But I wasn't trying to like have people in my corner. I'm just trying to like apply this verse here. But I did specifically want one person that I thought was going to maybe kind of be more on their side, just so that it was like more evened, I guess. Um, but I don't know if I should have done that. I don't know. But then we got to that part, and then basically it was like, okay, so no, they decided to stick with their guns, and I was like, okay. So then it's like, all right, the church, and they're like, no, they're like, don't bother, like,
Hmm.
and I was like, okay, so that means that we're gonna have to like stop hanging out here. Basically, is what I did.
Hmm.
If they refuse, it says in New King James it uses the he, but that's the default gender here. So it does that in New King James, even NIV. Before they did the most recent update of NIV, it was even doing male as the default.
Yeah.
So it's just a default. You have to choose one. So we chose male. If he refuses to hear them, tell it to the church. But if he refuses even to hear the church, let him be to you like a heathen and a tax collector. So basically, the way my
Hmm.
mentor, my spiritual mentor, who has discipled me in the faith, explained it to me was like basically like stop hanging out with them. Like we can't be friends anymore. Basically, like we can be friends, but it's like well, you have to have that delineation though, right? So like I'm not saying you can't be friends with unbelievers, but if they're your friend but then you're like you have to go through this passage and you have to kind of cut ties. It's like well basically like you kind of just it helps to show the delineation, to just basically be like hey like we're not cool anymore then, because I can't support you doing this sin. You're living in sin but you claim to be a believer. Mm-mm. And of course much love was applied to this. This was one of my good friends from high school. So I tried everything I could do. I'm giving you the short of it, but I really like applied a lot of love and grace to this as much as as I could. But I was like, hey, like we can't be friends anymore because you know yeah. So like a heathen and a tax collector, I stopped hanging out with that person. I guess. Um.
Well, just to kind
So
of say something on that. First of all, Kyle, I think that's really commendable of you to actually do literally follow the steps of what Jesus said how to deal with a sinning brother. You actually did that.
yeah.
And then the thing is, what's really powerful about it is that you told him you can't be friends with him anymore, right? So at that point, I mean, God could have used that at that point to really be like, whoa, hold on a second. Maybe what I'm doing really is wrong, not just here, but really offensive to God?
Hmm.
And so at that point, God could have really used that
Yeah.
to wake him up.
And that's
So,
the
yeah,
hope. That's I think that's really why that's like that, to like shock that person and be like, "Yo, wake up."
yep,
But I don't think this person was a believer. It's like one of those things where, there's a
exactly.
lot of people that go to church that are not believers, and this was one of those people. So,
Yeah.
um it is what it is. I hope they end up coming to the faith. Obviously, I still pray for them from time to time. Not like all the time because this was years and years and years ago that this happened. But I still pray for that person
Good.
occasionally. So yeah, and,
Nice.
and of course I have other stories too where like a friend of mine went through a spiritual discipline passage with like one of the pastors at a church basically, and that did not go super super well. Um, and I wish I had some good stories of like where somebody went to somebody and then it got cleared up and they were like oh yeah no that was my bad, yeah I shouldn't be doing that, thanks for the wake up call you know
Pride, man.
um
Pride. That's
yeah
we all deal with it, man. You know,
yeah
I do.
Well, I mean, I guess on a small scale, like I'm part of like an accountability group, and we actually call each other every Saturday. Today's Saturday, by the way, as of the time of this live broadcast. So obviously, if you're watching this live, you're like, no duh. But
It's
if you're not watching
Saturday.
this live, then you're not gonna be like, no duh. You're gonna be like, I don't know what day it is when you did
It's
that.
September 30th, 2023.
Hmm. AD, right? AD.
AD. Yeah, exactly.
Anno Domini, in the year of our Lord.
Amen.
Uh,
Correct.
yeah. So basically, that I wanted to just talk about that, I guess, because the context for why I thought this was a good idea, and I was telling you this beforehand, Joe, but like for the people watching, I was thinking about applying this to somebody because they were saying some stuff, and it seemed a little out of line, and I was
That's
with
right.
some of the stuff that I was hearing. I was like, I don't know if this person's saved right now, but
Like,
I
can you
cleared
give
it
an
up with them
example?
the
Can
next
you give an
day.
example, Kyle? Because you never really like,
Yeah,
what's an example?
so and again, I'm gonna be vague on purpose here because
Yeah, yeah.
this is gonna go up on the internet, and I want to protect people's identities and stuff. But I was yeah. So let's see, how vague do I want to go here? This person basically said what I heard them say was that, oh, like Mormons, Jehovah's Witnesses, Jews, doesn't matter. Let's all just agree on what we agree on and get together and worship
In Kumbaya.
and kumbaya and that kind of thing. And of course I'm paraphrasing here because I don't remember exactly what this person said, but I was like, what 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 did you just say?
No.
Um yeah, because so don't get me wrong. I think finding things that you agree on with people is a good idea, but that's not how it seemed like this person was trying to communicate. But I cleared it up with them the next day. We actually were texting, which I don't recommend doing that, but this person was like, "Hey, let's do text," and I was like, "Okay, here goes nothing." But we
Let's
cleared it up.
misunderstand each
We
other even more.
Yeah, right. So we we basically cleared things up over text, and then we talked about it too in person, and cleared up some more stuff. And then after that, we cleared up some more stuff, and um, yeah, I mean, so as of right now, we're good to go. No, I think this person is. I think this person is saved. Um, could I be wrong? Could always be wrong, I guess. I don't think Hitler was ever saved. Could I have been wrong? Maybe. What are the chances of that? Very close to zero. Um, this was actually something that I was debating with this person. Was like, I said that Hitler was in hell. I was like, he's definitely in hell. Um, and then they were like, well, I mean, like, not everybody thinks that. And I'm like, okay, bro, like, what are the chances though? Like, what are the chances that like right
I
before
mean,
he
unless he
died?
literally repented and was born again from above right before he freaking shot himself or whatever,
Yeah,
you
while
know.
he's sleeping with his sister who's next to him.
Wait, what?
What? So you know, like, what are the odds? So
I
is it
mean, the
possible?
yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean,
But
look, it
like,
can happen. It happened to Nebuchadnezzar, right?
yeah.
Amen. God's grace. That was that. I
But
love that
so like,
story.
yeah, and so normally like if I have my mathematician hat on, then I wouldn't make a statement like that he's like definitely in hell, because that sounds like a tautological statement, a tautology, something that's necessarily true. But if you're just having a normal conversation with somebody, you don't speak in like strict mathematical sense. Like, people don't talk like that. I get that people don't, like, I'm a math guy, but I don't talk in like necessarily true versus untrue. Like, I don't try to watch carefully. You know what I mean? Because if you're just having like a normal conversation with somebody, you're not like trying to nitpick to make sure you say everything just right. You're just having and that's what this was. It was a casual conversation. I was like, Hitler's definitely in hell. You know.
Oh
Um.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
So,
You didn't bust
anyways,
out with an algorithm of English?
what? Oh, tautology. Talking about that.
No, an algorithm of English. Algorithm. mathematics.
Oh! I thought you were talking about algorithm as in like a program to
Right.
figure out what I'm
Direction.
gonna say next or something. Yeah, I don't know, but
Hmm.
anyways, so I was like preparing myself to apply a spiritual church discipline, and I didn't need to. I didn't
Hmm.
need to because we cleared everything up, and it was just a misunderstanding.
Cool.
So but I was like, I want to be ready to do this if I have to. I really don't look forward to doing this because the last time officially did this, well, actually, no, I have done it once before with somebody else, and then we cleared it up. Actually, so that it did end up well. Never mind.
Hmm.
I do have a success story.
Oh, amen.
But before that time, that was a success thing. That last time with that person I was telling you about, where it didn't end well, that was the last time. You hope that you don't have to do this kind of thing that often with people. It's not like I I do this all the time. I think Christians need to be ready for this. Um, because I think this is the proper way to handle sin amongst believers. You don't do this to somebody who's not a believer. So if they're not part of a Bible believing church, especially your church, like if they go to a different church, um, try to set something up with people within that church. If that church seems legit. If it's you know, and that's kind of the gray area, right? Is like if they're kind of legit, or maybe like they're saying a couple things that seem a little off, like but they're not saying anything that's like tier one. I don't know. That's a gray area. I hopefully never have to deal with stuff like that. But we got to be ready for this because the Bible tells us this is how we deal with sin. So this is what you do. You go to the person, which that the first step is important, right? Like don't talk to your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, your friends and nephews and uncles, cousins. You know, that's gossip. You go to the person just mano y mano, because you're avoiding gossip.
Hmm.
Step one is specifically that person because you avoid gossip. So go to that person and talk to them, and you're avoiding gossip. And you bring only a couple. It's like, how many is it? If you will not hear, take with you one or two more. That's not that many people, right? So like one or two. This is still very like a closed environment. Hardly anybody knows about this kind of thing, And then after that, the church gets involved, and and my mentor is telling me this, and I actually I did some research on it, and other people were confirming this as well. That the church doesn't have to be like everybody, right? Because like, what if you go to like a mega church or something? All right, everybody has to be in attendance for this to work. Good luck with that. So tell it to the church. That's probably talking about the leadership and anybody who like is close to either party, the accuser or the defendant. You know, that's probably what it's referring to. A small group is probably sufficient. I would say, like 10 is probably good. Probably no more than like 20, because then it's just too many people in a room, I think. But that's just me. I'm just throwing numbers out there. So you theology majors out there, tell me if you know some numbers. But they don't quote numbers. It just says tell it to the church. So that is kind of left up to interpretation.
Yeah. No, I think it's a really good thing to follow because confrontation is really tough, you know.
It
Too
is.
many people avoid it, and like you said, instead of just confronting the person or the people about the sin or about the wrong that maybe they've done to you or others, they just avoid it, oh no, I'm not going to do it, and it's just easier for me. But that's, I guess that's where, as a believer, we have to literally count on the courage and confidence that we have in Christ to say, you know what, it's not about me. It's, am I want to honor God, you know, basically. And
Yeah.
this to me, this is honoring to God, because if I avoid this knowing that I should be doing it, that's sin.
Wow. Dropping some bombs right now. honestly, I
Yeah.
didn't even think about that, but yeah, I mean, like, it's a sin. It's a sin to do things you're not supposed to do, but yeah, it's also a sin to not do something you know you're supposed to.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know, now that people, whoever watches this, your mom and my mom, uh, you know, once they see this, you know, they're gonna be like, oh, okay, so now I know. So
My
now
mom
now
will
I,
forget in like 30 seconds though, so she'll have to rewatch it over and over.
yeah. So I thought that'd be cool to bring up and talk about is that because I think that's
Yeah.
important and not a lot of people know about that. I'm surprised by how many people don't know about that passage and like, hey, yeah, we can actually apply that passage.
Yeah, very
Um,
applicable and strong. Yeah.
yeah.
Good
Oh,
stuff.
one last thing I wanted to say about that was, yes, people normally I think are going to be in the camp of I'm too afraid to even confront this person, but you can also be on the other side of things. Where you're just going to be super confrontational with them. You're like, "Oh, okay. This passage tells me to call them out. So, watch out, man. Like y'all better not mess up cuz I'm going to come for you with the scriptures."
Yeah, overzealous, and that leads
you know?
to self-righteousness. Like, no,
Yeah, you don't do that. You don't
no.
do that. There's a line. There's a line to walk. You don't want to not deal with sin, but you also need to do it with gentleness. Galatians 6:1 says, let's see, if a brother is caught in a sin, you who are spiritual should restore him gently, but watch yourself, or you may also be tempted. So
Yep.
that's like that goes along with step one. Like you who are spiritual, so be right with God. You know, this is we're talking about Christian here. Should restore him harshly? No,
Holy.
gently, in gentleness. You know,
Yeah.
like hey bro, let's talk about this. Let's
Hey,
you
dude,
know.
here's a cookie. Here, come here. Hey, here's a treat.
I
Come
mean,
here.
whatever works, right? Like I don't know. You do you. At the end of the day.
Yeah.
Here, dropping some knowledge. All
Mhm.
right. So politics check, religion check. What's next?
I guess I don't know, just real world futures like science fiction or science.
I would remember what it was if I had Neuralink.
A
That was terrible. I apologize. Okay, so I thought that this thing was gonna go like back here at the base of the skull. That's
where?
where I thought it was gonna go. Okay, so this Neuralink thing, I thought it was gonna go back here because I thought that would make sense, right? It's like right above the top of the spine, where your backbone starts. Um, I thought that would make sense, but I guess it that's not where they're gonna put this thing. That's like reverse. That's like reverse Neuralink.
So, at the end of the day, can Neuralink help people? Possibly.
Potentially, potentially,
But can
yeah.
it
Oh,
also do
by the way,
super?
why don't you tell us what Neuralink is? Because maybe somebody hasn't heard about Neuralink. What's Neuralink, Joe?
Well, I'll just, kind of read a couple things here. For example, basically, it's to create a generalized brain interface to restore autonomy to those with unmet medical needs today and unlock human potential tomorrow. Okay. So, what happens is the brain computer interfaces have the potential to change lives for the better.
Mm,
Now, what does better mean? Well, we don't know. We want to bring, okay, this is what they say, we want to bring this technology from the lab
mm,
into people's homes. So, the idea is that, let's say, for example, someone can't walk, can't use their legs, or have some type of neurochemical imbalance or some type of nerves that don't connect. Well, this Neuralink could potentially be the interface between man and machine to be able to make it right and make it real functional as let's say a proper quote unquote human should be. For example, look behind me, right? You see them robotic super soldiers,
It looks
kind of
like
creepy.
reverse Neuralink.
Exactly. So ultimately, we know
So
Neuralink.
just
Yeah,
imagine that the metal is flesh and what's controlling it is metal.
exactly. So what they deem, they say it's to restore. Neuralink is really to restore independence and improve lives.
Mhm.
So they've built this BCI, this brain computer interface,
Mhm. Mhm.
that enables fast and reliable computer control and prioritizes ease of use. So potentially people could use the Neuralink to control machines or some type of computer programs and such. It's really wild. So that's why, hence, I've got the robotic soldiers, the death squad behind me, because ultimately those could be controlled by humans, or the Neuralink could control the humans in their casing like that. So it's got potential, man, just like anything, right? Anything in this world seems to start out with good intentions, but then you got Terminator. See, in reality,
Yeah. Yeah. So it doesn't go in the back of your head. It goes on the top of your head.
like a hat, you know.
Yeah. So it's they're saying it's going to cover up. It's going to be covered up. So it's going to be covered up by your hair. I was thinking it was at the back. It'd still be covered up by the hair. But it's going to be on the top of your head, somewhere up here. Can't even see my finger. There it is.
Mm,
Somewhere up on the very very top. If you imagine like looking down on somebody's head and then looking for the spot on their head that's right in between their two ears. That's
gotcha.
approximately where it's going to go.
Now, this is the thing about Neuralink. Now, this is kind of new. It's from Wired,
Okay.
magazine.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, I'm familiar.
very reputable, been around.
Y'all know who that is?
Yeah, if y'all know, hey, put it in the chat. Oh,
I'm
Wired. Yeah.
pretending like we have people that are actually watching this right now.
Oh, they are, man. They're loving this. Thank you so much for your support.
Thank you.
We love you.
Thank you.
That's
Thanks,
why we're
Mom.
here. Thanks, my yes, we love our moms.
You told
Oh,
me I was a special person, and I always believed you.
exactly. You can't go wrong. Look at that stash. Now check this out. Uh, so this article
Yeah.
says this is the title, dude, and this is actually kind of updated. This is September 28th, so only a couple days ago.
Okay.
All right. The gruesome story of how Neuralink's monkeys actually died.
Oh, the monkeys.
Dude, it says Elon Musk says no primates died as a result of Neuralink's implants.
Oh,
A
what?
Wired
He said that?
investigation now reveals the grisly specifics of their deaths,
He
as
didn't actually
U.S.
say that,
authorities
right?
have been asked to investigate Musk's claims. Dude, yeah,
He said that? No, because I was looking something up, and I was seeing him being like he was trying to be like, oh well, like people have been trying to say that the monkeys died because of the Neuralink trial, but they were already like on their deathbed monkeys. They were like monkeys with problems, and that's why we were putting Neuralink in the monkeys to try to fix their problems. And they just died because they were already on their deathbed anyways. And he was saying that kind of stuff, and I was like, mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
exactly. Now check this out.
mm-hmm.
There's a quote.
But
There,
that was what I saw. So what I saw was him
yeah,
confirming the monkeys, but then saying, the plot thickens. The
it
plot
does,
thickens.
because then I guess Neuralink goes on, and here's a quote. They are claiming they are going to put a safe device on the market, and that's why you should invest. It's just like the shots, man, which are, hey, safe and effective.
What? Flu shot?
Yeah. But isn't that crazy? They're claiming they're gonna put a safe device on the market, so go ahead and invest. You should. All right, it's all good.
I have all of
So,
my stock in Tesla.
oh, good.
I'm joking. That's a joke.
I know.
That is way too volatile. Don't do it. Hashtag not financial advice. Don't sue me. Yeah,
Agreed.
don't put all your money in Tesla. That's a terrible idea. Okay. Um, unless his like health declines rapidly, and then you're shorting it. like
Yeah.
like if like if you imagine like one of his best buddies like he's like, oh, I don't know if I'm feeling so well, and he's like, oh, I hope you feel better, bro. Literally goes on his phone and shorts Tesla.
Okay.
All right, so back to Neuralink though. So back to Neuralink. So okay. All right. So wait, I lost my train of thought. What were we talking about? We're talking about Neuralink. Oh, I need Neuralink
So
so
on
I can
Neuralink, we're talking about
keep my focus.
how the monkeys
Oh, the
died.
monkeys. Okay,
We're
yeah. So he was
talking about
denying the
how
monkeys.
we're talking about how they say, hey, it's okay though. Go ahead and still invest because we're going to put a safe device out there in the market. Okay, it's all good.
Keep it secret. Keep it safe.
So what they're going to do basically is they're going to basically experiment on the public, just like they did with the shots.
Yeah. So I actually am. I think we actually disagree about this a little bit on this, which I think will be good because it's good to have disagreement. I think to have some good discourse on
Some discourse, some banter,
some
you know.
some playful banter. Yeah, because I actually I kind of like this idea. And so my wife sent me a video about this guy who was I guess he has a channel where he just talks about stuff from a Christian perspective. So like I respect that. We're kind of doing that. If you don't know Jesus, you need to know Jesus. He's the way, the truth, and the life. Um, repent of your sin, turn to Him, and yeah, we forgot to talk about the gospel. So
Okay, amen.
this show's about Jesus. Okay, so yeah, definitely, and put something in the chat if you want to talk more about Jesus, or if we like next time we can just go straight into the gospel. I figured this time we'd talk about church discipline. I just kind of that's kind of what I was feeling, but the
Yeah,
gospel
dude.
should
Yeah.
always be. Anyways, we're talking about Neuralink,
But yeah,
so
next time we'll focus more obviously on the one who is to be focused on, right? The glory, Christ.
yeah,
You know why? Because he was given up for our trespasses and he was raised for our justification to
amen.
those who believe.
Yeah, but
Amen.
no, seriously, like hopefully we have the gospel in every show, whether we're talking about church discipline, something that's we're talking about amongst assuming believers are listening in, but then
Amen.
also for unbelievers, um,
Yeah.
what do you do? How do you know Christ? You know what? We should always have the link in the description below of like a website you can go to and get information on that. You know what? We're gonna do that. We're gonna do that. We're gonna have that posted. Maybe not right now during the live, but after we cut this out, we'll do
We
that.
can
We'll
pin it
have
on
a
the comments, you know?
yeah. We could do that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Cool.
And that way, anybody that's seeking truth, they can go and see like a very thorough explanation of the gospel, because you want to know, like, all right, like if I'm going to be committing my life to this Jesus guy, I need to know all the things. And not that you need to like do all the research for years and years and years before you try to make it. That's, I'm not talking about that. I'm just saying, like, when you make a decision, at least know what it is you're deciding to commit your life to. You know, like I don't like it when people are like, oh, just say the magic words and then you're good to go. It's like, no, you need to know what it is that you're putting your heart into. So
Yeah,
we'll have a
and
link.
at the end of the day, don't trust that you're going to have all the answers because only those answers are found in God alone.
Yeah, and I
So
don't
you
have
have
all
to
the
trust in
answers.
Him, not in you figuring things out because you're
I don't
never
have
going
all
to.
the answers. You don't have all
It's
the
only
answers.
God. Yeah, it's only by His Spirit that you're going to know anything.
Yeah.
Even Jesus said, remember when Jesus said to His disciples, "Who do people say I am?" And then Peter was like, "You are the Christ, the Son of God." And then Jesus said, "You are blessed, Simon Peter, for flesh and blood." That means your own,
Yeah.
flesh and your own
In the
brain.
message, it says, "Good job. Have
Yeah,
a cookie."
yeah, exactly. He didn't say, "Oh, oh yeah, that was revealed to you by your own logic." No, the
Yeah.
Father, God, the Spirit revealed that to you.
Yeah. Amen.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
amen.
So, anyways, back to Neuralink. I actually kind of like it. I do. I kind of like it. So my wife was sending me this thing, and this guy that he's I guess a believer. I don't know. I don't know who it was. I'm not gonna say who it was because I don't know if he's like for sure a believer or not. But basically, he was like, "Oh, I don't support it. This is the mark of the beast." And he was like pulling up the passage in Revelation about the mark of the beast, and I was like, you're serious? You're gonna compare it to the mark of the beast, this Neuralink thing? Like, bro, like, and so don't get me wrong. Is there a chance that Neuralink could be the mark of the beast? Maybe. I mean, because you're kind of like putting it into your head, and so like but like what? It's very loose. I mean, like if that's potentially the mark of the beast, then like getting a sticker on your hand is like a mark of the beast or something. I don't know. Like
I,
I don't know. It
I
just
think people, yeah, I think
I think that's a
people,
little far because
it's too
when you look
far.
at the
Yeah.
mark of the beast, um, it's saying that you're gonna put it's so some translations say on, some of them say in. I think King James says it's in the hand, in the right hand specifically, or in the forehead. And that's why I thought it was important to look up where this Neuralink thing is going to go. I thought it would be at the base of the skull, but I didn't know for sure until I looked it up. It's on the top of the head. It's not in your forehead. And also, if it was in your forehead, if you're going to implant something straight into your forehead, you'd be able to see it, even if it's all the way in your head, because there's going to be a scar, right? Like there's going to be a circular scar right there. So you'd be able to see it. Like nobody would want to do that. I mean, I guess if that was like the only way to do it, then I guess people would be like maybe, but
I think a lot of, and
it's
just
not in
kind
your
of
forehead.
piggyback on that, I think a lot of revelation is,
Symbolic.
it's not literal, it's symbolic,
Yeah.
I mean, just like, for example, in Ezekiel, when he says, my people will have my mark on their forehead. So how do you bring that together? Okay, so in Ezekiel, it's a good thing, but then in Revelation, it's a bad thing.
Well, it's the mark of the beast,
Right.
right?
So I'm thinking it's more of a spiritual thing.
Yeah. So if you're gonna take it literal, I think the most likely thing that could be the mark of the beast, and this is a little bit of a side topic, but hey, I have ADHD, so deal with it. Um, if you're gonna talk about the most likely literal potential mark of the beast thing, I think it would be this like currency stuff. I think it's like Switzerland or something that's already doing this, where they implant like a thing on your right hand, so it's implanted in your right hand, and you know how like you can tap to pay,
Yeah,
you
they
just
do that a lot.
you
Yep.
tap to
Yep.
pay with your hand, like you just wave your hand, you use the force. These are not the
Yep.
droids you're looking for. And then you use the force and you pay for stuff because it's got the tap to pay. It's just tap to pay technology at all. So it's got that, and it's your debit card basically implanted into your hand with the tap to pay thing. So this is not like trailblazing new science. This is stuff we already know and use. They just put it in your hand, so
Yeah.
that way it's like it's always with you. You don't have to worry about losing it or whatever. So
And hey, they're
that
also they're not worried about losing you.
Yeah, so the reason that one of the other than the obvious like the placement is like exact. Other than the placement being pretty exact, the other thing about it that's likely to line up with that passage. Let me go to that passage here. The other thing that's likely to line up with that passage is that it's talking about when people need to get this mark in order to buy and sell things. They're going to have to get the mark to buy or sell things. So if you want to talk about mark of the beast, I think that's the closest that we could possibly get to the mark of the beast is getting that tap to pay thing implanted in your right hand. You have to use it to buy or sell. So that would be that. Not Neuralink. Neuralink is not the mark of the beast. All right. Is it possible? I mean, is it possible that you can hit a target that's over a football field away with a bow and arrow? Maybe, I don't know. Like, um, so like I was saying earlier, it's like I'm not speaking in tautologies. I'm not speaking about things that are necessarily true here. When I say something, it's like okay, like generally speaking, this is pretty much not going to happen, or definitely going to happen. But not necessarily 100% or whatever. I'll let you know if it's 100%. There's very
Okay.
few things that are 100%. Death and taxes. Um, but yeah, I mean, so like Neuralink, right? So it's going to be implanted in the top of your head, not in your forehead. So not mark of the beast. I actually kind of like the idea of it. I do. Because so let's say Jesus doesn't come back for another 2000 years. With the way technology has been progressing, even in the last 10 years, can you imagine where we're going to be in 2000 years? Everybody's going to look like the people behind you in 2000 years. There's hardly going to be any regular people left.
Mm-hmm.
Whether we do it to ourselves or robots go crazy or I don't know. I don't know. But it's the world is going to look very different if Christ takes another 2000 years to come back. So the way I see it, it's kind of like, you know how everybody was skeptical? Like my stepmom's dad, um Pentecostal preacher, very like traditional guy. When TVs came out, he was like, "Oh, those are the one-eyed devils. You need to stay away from that stuff, or you're going to hell." You know, one of those guys. And that was when TVs came out. People were skeptical about TVs because it's like they don't know that much about TVs. They don't know what's going on. How is it that we can see pictures on a TV? Where does the power for the television come from? Is it spiritual demonic forces that are empowering the pictures that come onto your television screen? I don't know.
Hmm.
You should rebuke somebody's television and cast out the demons from it so it stops projecting images. You know, like people were saying stuff like that about TVs when TVs first came out, or radio, or the internet. And can you do bad things with television? Yeah, you can watch porn on TV, right? Or maybe you can watch a sermon from a legit pastor on TV. Not like one of those crazy televangelist people. That's why I prefaced with legit
No, and
pastor.
if you're interested in actually learning really good theology, sound by the for the love of Christ, then watch R.C. Sproul on YouTube. You know why? Because he literally does. They literally stream live 24/7. You can watch Study God's Word, R.C. Sproul live. It's amazing. His old stuff too, man. It's beautiful. Love it. I mean,
Shout
you
out.
will get nourished like wow.
That's your number one. That's your number one go-to is RC Sproul.
Just recently because my folks are here. They put it on
Yeah.
and I realized like wow. And I sat
Okay.
here today for a little bit and
Okay.
I was like, wow, Lord, this is
I can
this is
respect it. I can respect it.
yeah, beautiful, man.
Who would be my number one go-to? Hmm. Or if we're talking about like sermons.
It's a mix. It's cool because it's sermons, but then also it's like he's just in like a classroom environment.
Mm.
So it's different. I'm not gonna say sermons per
I
se. It's
think if we're talking about watching like a classroom environment type thing or debates, especially, one of my favorites is William Lane Craig.
mm,
That might
yeah,
be one of my go-to people.
mm.
But anyways,
Oh
so
hey, Neuralink, real quick.
yeah, Neuralink.
I just pulled something up. It says Neuralink's first in-human clinical trial is open for recruitment. Ah,
Yeah, he
so
posted
that's
something on X about he was like, "Oh, so FDA just approved us. Who wants to sign up?"
they call it the Prime. Yeah, I know, right? Like Optimus Prime, Transformers. They
Yes.
call it the Prime study, short for precise robotically implanted brain computer interface. Boom, like those things
You
behind me,
mean
son.
bribe?
Prime.
You said brain interface. You mean mind interface? Or mind?
I'm going to repeat that for you.
Okay, go ahead.
The Prime study, short for precise robotically implanted brain computer interface.
Yeah, that doesn't spell prime.
That's what they did. That's the name.
Okay. Okay, I mean I know I teach math. But
Well, they don't, okay?
yeah. Yeah.
But the point is, that's exactly what you're seeing behind me.
Mm. Well, it's the opposite of that actually. But
Whatever.
yeah, so
Actually, no, it's not because the body is inside.
maybe
Okay.
maybe it doesn't look like there's a person in there, but I could be wrong.
The shell.
So going back to how I actually kind of like this is so I the way I see it, we don't know a lot about it, right? So anytime we don't know a lot about something, some sort of emerging technology, um we're skeptical, and rightly so. You know, we didn't know about TV, and TV can be used now for good or for evil. And what about the internet, right? Internet can be used for good, or internet can be used for evil. Hopefully, we're using the internet for good here. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to use the internet for good, having some good discussion on some stuff, and from a
Anything new
Christian
is scary,
perspective.
right? The unknown is scary to
Yeah,
people.
so that's kind of how I feel. Like I'm a little skeptical too. But what if what if it does work out well? What if it works out well and people can actually walk from this? And it's not the mark of the beast, right? So it's like, okay, like what if it works? And then people are able to walk. Like, yeah, I want to, I don't mean I don't know anybody that can't walk, but like, I want people to be able to use this and be able to walk again. That's really cool. And this is not something that you would just implant this thing by itself and you'd be able to walk again, because this is just an interface. So you would actually need the prosthetics to go with it. So that get kind of expensive actually. So I mean, it's not going to be affordable for a while, but for somebody who can afford it, who can pay for it, um, so you get the prosthetics and you get the right ones, because they have to be able to interface with the Neuralink. It has to be compatible with Neuralink, and then you get the Neuralink implanted, and everything goes well. I mean, they're going to be able to walk on robotic legs, yeah, but they're going to be able to walk, right? So, and then think about the implications of okay, so like let's talk about like non-amputees for right now, because that was what Elon Musk was talking about. But obviously, there's way more application to this. If you're able to control certain mechanical devices with your mind, I mean, like we're gonna be able to like scroll the internet with our mind, you know, and like look through. It's like it's like you're pairing with AI. You ever play the game, or see anything about Halo, the game Halo on the Xbox?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So Cortana, I mean, it won't be like a second consciousness, but like it almost kind of makes me think of that a little bit. It's like he has AI with him. It's not implanted, but it's like you have like a access to the internet right away. He can be like, hey Cortana, like do this or do that or whatever. Which is kind of like how Siri and Google work actually. But I mean, but it goes beyond that. Like you can interface with things, you know, and then eventually like through Bluetooth, like if you just Bluetooth connect to stuff in your house, like you could literally control the things in your house. Like you could like blink twice and then like turn off the lights in a certain room or something. I don't know, like this is nuts. This is nuts. Like the potential for this, right? And I'm not saying this is necessarily going to happen. We don't know. It's still in its early phases. Maybe it's going to be a flop, and maybe it's going to work out, and maybe it's something in between. Whatever. We don't know yet. We don't know, because only time will tell. But I mean, if this goes well and it does end up working out, like I don't know, I might be like, hey, sign me up. Let's do this.
Right.
I,
Yeah, exactly.
I'm
Because,
I've got thinning hair up
like I
there
said, we don't
anyway,
know the
so
potential. I mean, the potential could be anything, right? You think of something and it happens. It could really lead to a society, though, of, I mean, let's be honest, physical laziness.
I mean, but we're already there.
Well, now, yeah, we're there. Now imagine upping that by 1,000. you
Well,
know?
yeah. So I think what's going to happen is if we increase our capabilities with this stuff, so just generally speaking here, if we increase our capabilities, like so one of the things that Elon Musk was talking about with Joe Rogan when he was talking about this with Joe, what is it with people named Joe today? We got Joe Garpini, who's traveling through the universe right now. And then, when we were talking about Joe, and then Joe Rogan. What? Three Joes in one day? That's crazy. Anyways, so Joe Rogan and Elon Musk, they were talking about this, and so basically Elon was like, you're not gonna have to talk to people to communicate. It's like ASL on steroids. You just it's like it's literally those movies where people are like telepathically communicating with each other. It's like
Mm-hmm.
literally that. Like you're gonna have superpowers. We're gonna friggin' have superpowers.
Like, hey, dude, you hear what I'm saying? I do. Oh, cool.
But you don't have to say anything.
No, exactly. That's what I'm saying. You're thinking that. And you keep like this, just like, mm-hmm.
You don't even need to move your head though.
Exactly.
Did
Like,
you catch
don't
that?
move. Just
No, you didn't, because you don't
don't
have
move right
Neuralink.
now. Just don't move.
but but like if we both had Neuralink, this would be a really boring show for one, because we wouldn't need to say anything. But like
Unless they could take our thoughts and do
unless they have
caption,
Neuralink,
automatic caption though. Think
it
about
would
it.
be a
It'll
very
literally,
exclusive show.
and people can read.
I have Neuralink, you have Neuralink. Only people who have Neuralink could hear us, but we're like having a Neuralink conversation.
Well,
Crazy. This
it's
stuff is
wild.
this stuff is nuts. This is
Wild.
this is nuts. And but so I'm saying like, okay, but this could be good. I think this could be. There's so many people that are skeptical about it, and I understand it. I get it, and I'm skeptical. I'm not going to be one of the initial people that sign up for this because there's probably a waiver, and it's like, hey, if I die, oh well, YOLO, sign here, John Smith. Um,
Yep.
so I'm not gonna be one of the first to sign up, but I think I'm less skeptical than a lot of people I know about this. I think I'm pretty optimistic about this, and I think we should do it. As long as it works, trials go well, people are able to walk. That's cool, and then it's like, all right, cool, let's do this. I
Yeah.
mean, am I going to be able to afford it? Maybe not. Probably not. Unless there's some sort of like lottery or something, right? Like I'm not a gambler, but sign me up. Put me in a raffle.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't know. I think that on like if we're gonna last another 2,000 years and keep up with AI, this is the way to do it. Because what's gonna happen if we don't do stuff like Neuralink? If we're just normal Joes, no offense.
Hey. Come
If
on,
we're just
dude.
normal Kyles, that doesn't have the same ring to it.
That sound, yeah.
If we're just normal people and we don't ever do stuff like Neuralink, with the way AI is progressing, like it's only a matter of time before actually Terminator happens. Like
There you go.
actually that's gonna happen, right? Terminator, iRobot. Name your favorite robots take over movie. Um yeah,
iRobot's really good.
I liked it.
Really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too.
It's a little controversial now that Mr. Slap. He's a good actor. He's a good actor. Um he just doesn't make great decisions. He needs Jesus, and his wife especially needs Jesus because that woman is like a Jezebel or something. Anyways, anyways. So I mean, yeah. So we're
Anyways,
that's kind of creepy.
this is kind of like Neuralink, dude. See,
Um,
I wanted to give you a sample.
okay, we're totally doing this right now. All right, we're totally doing this right now. All right, so this is Joe.
Hi.
Oh, your head moves too.
Well,
Look,
yeah,
it's
it's
deep
Neuralink.
fake. It's deep fake Joe.
It's Neuralink, dude.
um, yeah, I think if we're gonna so robots AI is gonna happen. It's gonna get they're gonna get more advanced. It's already gotten more advanced in 5 years, much less 10 or 20. We weren't even calling it AI. We were just calling it robots. Now we don't say robots, we say AI. But I
You
mean,
say
we're
what?
we're just gonna be say hey. We're just gonna be saying hey, how you doing? In another few years, because AI is gonna decide to like have bodies, and then we're gonna have robots with AI consciousness. Um, that's gonna happen. That's inevitable. So
Well, that's what they're pushing for, dude. Ultimately, and we'll get into that some other time, but
yeah, that's a
they're
rabbit
pushing
trail.
for the Internet of Bodies, where
Hmm.
they upload all our consciousness in this one central web of humanity in on the planet, which
That's
is
some
what. But we'll
crazy
get into that.
stuff.
It's crazy.
That's some crazy stuff.
That
I don't
is.
even want to. I don't even want to get
They
into
want to
that. That's scary.
manufacture. They want to try to tap into what they deem eternal life. If they keep their conscience alive,
Yeah.
and they don't realize
Which is
that's just
ironic because everyone lives
foolishness.
forever.
That's true. That's true.
You can live forever in heaven or you can live forever in hell.
There you go. You can live
So
forever in utter joy and peace and love, or in torment. That's it.
yeah. So choose wisely. So yeah, I mean, I'm very optimistic. I mean, Elon Musk, Tesla, and Ford are the only two auto companies to never file for bankruptcy. SpaceX is doing some stuff, right? There, I mean, look at, you know, I mean, you look at his companies. It's like he can do no wrong. And of course, I'm sure there's been some stuff where he has some flops, but that happens with. If you look at typical business, like look at Trump, he's had quite a few failed businesses. But what people don't realize is that like 1 out of 10 businesses, maybe that's like a good
That's like high, yeah.
that's like good scenario. That's like best case scenario, 1 out of 10.
Yeah.
So if you start 10 businesses, assuming you had the time to actually like do all of them, so good luck. Hopefully you're a vampire because that's the only way. Not even then. Not even then. Not with 10 businesses. If you're really putting everything into all 10. But
well, that's why they
let's say you
fail,
did
because
though.
they're not really putting all into it.
Well, let's say you did though. Let's say you did. Theoretically, you can expect one of them to make it, and the other 9 are gonna flop, like statistically. So, and
Yeah.
that's I think that's like for the first 5 years. I think that's only like to last 5 years, and then after that, it's even less. To somebody for a business to make it for longer than 5 years, um, even the next 5 up to 10 years. I don't
Yeah.
remember what
And like,
the stats are crazy. So I mean, for
yeah.
Elon Musk to be like, all right, PayPal, and then Tesla, and then SpaceX, and he sold some flamethrowers. Like I don't even
I was
know.
just gonna say exactly the something company, and I was thinking, man, if I could have got a hand on that one of those flamethrowers.
Those things are worth a lot of money now. I bet because what was
Oh,
it
I
like
know.
ten
He only
thousand or
sold them
fifty
for like
thousand or
500
something?
bucks, dude. They were like $500 for one of them.
No, what I'm
So,
saying is you could sell them for way more
oh,
than
you
that
could
now.
sell them for, oh heck yeah, yeah, totally.
I don't know what it is. It's
Their
probably something
value is like,
stupid. Yeah,
yeah,
to get your hands on one of those because it's a
so
limited supply.
exactly. They're so
So and it's
limited.
like a collector's item, and he's very popular. It's like, ooh, get this cool thing that Elon Musk made.
Supply and demand. Yep.
Um, yeah. So
Oh, cool, dude.
I'm optimistic about Neuralink.
Yeah.
You know,
If it can help people, great. I just know because of the depravity of man and greed and power, hungry folks out there that are already in power. I
hmm
don't know. It could go real backwards. It could go, real sour real quick. You know.
it depends on how it's going to function. It might
So
not
you
have
they
access
could
to
be
the
doing
internet.
both. They could be doing both. They could be doing
If it
good.
has access to the internet, I'm going to be extra skeptical, right? So if like somebody can hack you remotely, I'm going to be extra skeptical for sure. So as long as it doesn't have internet, I mean, I was saying like it'd be cool to like scroll the internet with your mind though. I don't know. But now that I'm thinking about it, it's like, wait a second, hold on. But that would mean you would need internet access, and if you have internet access, then somebody can get in and hack you. So maybe you don't want that. Maybe you
Yeah,
don't
that's what
want.
they said about those voting machines, and apparently people could
Mm,
access those. But we won't go there right now. It's all good.
another time.
It's all legit.
Yeah, what would that file under? Politics or AI?
Oh no, conspiracy.
Conspiracy theories. We should have a fourth category. Break the
Oh,
fourth wall. Okay.
ah,
So, anyways, that about covers it. I think we hit all 3 of our checks, all of our lighthearted topics for today.
yeah, bro.
Politics, religion, and AI, as promised in the banner.
Boom.
Don't forget it. We should make a Patreon page so that people can
We
support us.
should. Yeah. Praise the Lord. We
So
delivered.
look for that. If it's not in the description below, I want you to yell at me. I want you to tell me that in all caps in a comment. Hey, dummy. give me a Patreon page so I can give you $100, and then I'll get right on it. But no, yeah, we should do that. That way, if people want to support this ministry, then they can support it.
Amen.
All
For
right.
sure.
Are we doing that? Is that what we're
Oh, yeah, there
Is
we
it
go.
time for night night? Is it night night time? All right. It's night night
All right.
time, everybody. It's getting late over here in Florida, where we're both from. We're both Florida men. So we're gonna go ahead and call it for the evening.
All right, y'all. Well, Kyle,
And
I just want to say congratulations on this first episode of success, my friend, brother in
yeah,
Christ.
good job. Good job, Joe. For sticking in there and putting up with my shenanigans. I should know technology stuff by now, but it is what it is. So all right, we're gonna go over to the YouTubes and we're gonna cut this thing out. You're gonna see it for a second, but I'll probably chop this part out when
Yeah.
we go to actually post this, so you know. All right,
Maybe.
this has been JK Talks. Soli Deo Gloria. We will catch you in the next episode on the Flippity Flip.
With Joe and Kyle. See you next time. To God be the glory.
In stream.